Houston, Texas, 1965. A quiet, normal neighborhood. But behind these doors, a horror was brewing. Concerned relatives called the police for a check. Officers stepped inside to a completely silent home. On the dining table, rotting food sat untouched. They followed a foul scent into the kitchen. A suspicious officer opened the white refrigerator door. Inside were dozens of neatly wrapped meat packages. At the very bottom, 2 human heads. The victims were an elderly couple living there. The prime suspect was their brilliant son, Charles. He was a reclusive pilot and war veteran. He hid away in a dark attic room. He only communicated using notes under the door. After cleaning the crime scene, Charles vanished completely. A massive police manhunt turned up absolutely nothing. Did he escape to a foreign jungle country? Or was he a secret government agent underground? Conspiracy theorists even link him to famous assassinations. To this day, his location remains unknown. The terrifying icebox mystery remains completely unsolved. Investigators dug deeper into the family's dark history. They discovered Fred and Edwina lived in constant fear. Charles was intensely abusive to his aging parents. He desperately wanted total control of their wealth. On Father's Day, something inside him finally snapped. Autopsy reports showed Edwina was killed while sleeping. Fred fought back but was brutally overpowered. The killer used a heavy iron claw hammer. Then, the systematic dismemberment began in total silence. The killer possessed expert, professional anatomical knowledge. Blood evidence was uncovered across the entire bathroom. A bloody handsaw was found hidden away. Yet, the kitchen was meticulously scrubbed clean. Neighbors recalled seeing Charles leave that morning. He carried a single, heavy leather suitcase. He walked calmly toward the city bus station. That was the last time anyone saw him. Police tracked his bank accounts across Texas. Large sums of cash were abruptly withdrawn. Forged signatures allowed him to steal everything. The FBI officially joined the nationwide manhunt. They searched remote airfields, docks, and terminals. His background as a pilot sparked wild rumors. Did he fly a private plane away? Some claimed he landed in deep Mexico. Years passed, but new, wilder theories emerged. Investigators proposed he was a covert CIA agent. Conspiracy theorists linked him to the JFK assassination. They believed he was one of the tramps. Others thought he became the legendary D.B. Cooper. But law enforcement viewed these ideas with skepticism. In 1975, a judge made a final ruling. Charles Rogers was officially declared dead in absentia. No body or grave ever bore his name. The house on Ashland Street was completely demolished. Today, a vacant lot is all that remains. Did he escape or take secrets to his grave? The story of Charles Rogers doesn't end there. Years later, investigators uncovered his private, coded diaries. Charles had created his own completely unbreakable cipher. Authors and cryptographers spent decades trying to crack it. The notes revealed a deeply paranoid, brilliant mind. He wrote about monitoring his parents' every move. He believed they were actively poisoning his food. This intense paranoia slowly consumed his daily life. But his financial crimes were completely deliberate. Charles had been systematically stealing their land. He used multiple aliases to open secret accounts. The scale of his deception was absolutely staggering. Then came the shocking tie to deep state espionage. Charles worked for a prominent Houston oil company. This position gave him access to classified technology. Some believe this work was a front for something else. Was he operating as a deep cover asset? This would explain his flawless, sudden disappearance. A regular citizen cannot simply vanish forever. The FBI file on Charles remains heavily redacted. In 1992, 2 forensic investigators reopened the case. They uncovered shocking links to organized crime families. Charles allegedly had ties to a powerful mafia boss. His seismology work was used for illicit smuggling routes. This connection provided him a network to escape. The investigators tracked his trail all the way to Honduras. Rumors spread he died in a mining dispute, but no official record of his death exists there. Back in Houston, the house became a dark landmark. Curious onlookers searched for remaining clues in the dirt. Locals claimed the empty property was deeply haunted. Strange sounds echoed from the old attic's footprint. The police files eventually grew completely cold. Generations of detectives retired without finding answers. The perfect murder requires a permanent escape. Charles Rogers achieved exactly that, leaving only horror. This case challenges everything we know about tracking killers. How does a man vanish for over 60 years? Perhaps he lived out his days in plain sight. The truth remains locked in the icy past forever. True crime communities still obsess over every clue. Amateurs map out his potential flight paths daily. Digital forensics shed new light on old evidence. They enhanced the bloody fingerprints left behind. The markings match Charles's military record perfectly. But matches mean nothing without a suspect. He remains a ghost haunting the archives. Some psychologists studied his extreme social isolation. Genius and madness lived in that attic. His diaries showed a completely detached reality. He wrote of secret frequencies in the walls. The house was a quiet pressure cooker, until the final, horrific breaking point occurred. The cold calculation still stuns modern profilers. No panic, just a methodical cleaning process. He treated his parents like a problem that he solved with precision. Then he stepped out into the world, becoming a shadow that never returned home. The icebox murders remain entirely frozen.